Hello and welcome to a card review about Dreadhorde Arcanist, a 1/3 with trample red zombie wizard for only 2 mana. Whenever Dreadhorde Arcanist attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to Dreadhorde Arcanist's power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost, and if a card would be put into a graveyard this way, exile it instead. If we go back and look at the history of Magic, we might begin with Thieving Magpie, which is a 4 mana cost creature with flying, a 1/3, and whenever it dealt damage to an opponent, you got to draw a card. Then Wizard of the Coast upgraded that creature and printed Shadow Mage Infiltrator, which is also a 1/3 for only 3 mana. It still have an evasion, fear, which made it a little bit harder to block. And then Wizard of the Coast upgraded this concept even further and made a 2 mana cost Dark Confidant, which didn't actually need to go to combat at all. Just draw a card at the beginning of your upkeep and you lost life equal to that card's converted mana cost. Then they printed Mindblade Render, also a 2 mana cost 1/3, that draw a card whenever a warrior deals combat damage to one of your opponents. Now these 4 mana cost and 3 mana cost creatures are a little bit too expensive for competitive EDH. For a creature to be a continuous card draw effect, it should cost something about 2 mana. So this red zombie wizard nails this perfectly. And I would also like to point something more out, that this creature actually has something you could call evasion. And I'm not talking about the trample, I'm talking about that it triggers when it attacks, so even if it's blocked, it will still cast the spell. Now it's quite obvious that you have to have something inside your graveyard for this wizard to actually work, and unless you buff it, it's only able to cast 1-cost card spells. But I assure you that within this format there are so many good and solid 1-cost card spells that we're already playing. For example, Brainstorm, Ponder, Serum Vision and Gitaxian Probe. You could also recast a bunch of your tutors, for example Vampiric Tutor, Worldly Tutor, Mystical Tutor and Enlightened Tutor. Or the Tutor Demonic Consultation. You could also cast a bunch of your Reanimator spells, like the actual Reanimator, Unearth and Noxious Revival. You could also recast a bunch of your spot removals like Lightning Bolt, Nature's Claim, Fatal Push and Swords to Plowshare. And this is one of the main reasons why I think that this Dreadhorde Arcanist is going to see potential play inside Legacy and Modern. From time to time I actually play Inquisition of Kozilek, Duress and Thoughtseize. I actually view these cards as decent and quite okay. And then we have Chain of Vapor, which is a typical cEDH staple. Now I would also like to just throw in Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast, Path to Exile and Cremate. And Cremate will actually give you a card draw. It's an interaction against graveyards. Now there is a lot more cards that I could be showing you, but I think at this point you're starting to notice that there is a lot of good and solid 1-cost card spells within this format. Enough to fuel this creature at the very least, so I definitely think that this is a card that is going to see play inside competitive Elder Dragon Highlander. And I'm really happy that Wizards of the Coast finally printed a card like this. This is a card that Red have been looking for and demanding for a very long time. Red is one of the weaker colors in the format, and it needs buffing. It needs some creatures that is gonna help it out, and currently we've seen a lot of different red hate bears throughout the format coming into print that is helping Red getting stronger and a little bit more valid. And I think that this creature is on the right path to help that out as well. And in the future we might start to see a little bit more power and good cards from the color of red. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. More reviews are probably gonna be coming up.